My God, I hate drugs.
Military officials deny claims by opposition lawmaker Gary Alejano that President Duterte ordered the armed forces to stop conducting patrols in the South China Sea. Alejano today said he has intelligence information that the president gave the order, which is an impeachable offense. Our Rex Remito has that story.
But I received information that the Duterte administration ordered our armed forces not to patrol West Philippine Sea anymore.
Opposition lawmaker Gary Alejano claims this is an information palace and military officials are refusing to reveal to the public. The Magdalo Party List representative also says armed forces officials have raised concerns over the president's order.
And ang sabi ng armed forces, sandali muna, that is our mandate. We would be remiss of our mandate to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity if you do that.
That's why they compromise the armed forces will only patrol the vast disputed waters once a month. Alejano doubts if this will be effective in guarding the country's interest. He admits he doesn't have hard evidence, only intelligence information which authorities do not usually publish. The Defense Department, meanwhile, is quick to deny, saying no such order was given. The armed forces also say maritime and aerial patrols continue, contrary to the information received by Alejano. The AFP also labels Alejano's info as kuryenteng balita, if not another malicious imputation on the president. Alejano meanwhile also claims Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano only filed one diplomatic protest against China, not 50 to 100 during the entire Duterte administration, as what Cayetano has been claiming. The single diplomatic protest, Alejano says, was filed May 26 Saturday to Chinese Ambassador Xiao Jianhua's residence.
Dinala nila doon sa residence ng Ambassador of China. Ang sabi sa akin, hindi dapat ginagawa yan. Sinosomon ang ambassador sa Department of Foreign Affairs to emphasize the gravity of the situation.
Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio meanwhile says the government should protest China's harassment of Filipino fishermen at the Panatag Shoal. This after reports the Chinese Coast Guard are preventing them from fishing inside the lagoon and taking some of their catch.
We can bring another case before an arbitral tribunal that China has been violating the ruling and demand damages, because we can demand damages for the economic loss that our fishermen suffered.
Both Carpio and Alejano assert if the Duterte administration will not defend its territorial interests in the West Philippine Sea, the Filipino people will suffer in the end. Rex Remito, CNN, Philippines.
In news overseas, as the U.S. and North Korea prepare to meet for the first time, the rhetoric has changed from unleashing fire and fury to a more measured tone. We hear so much about what the U.S., South Korea, and their allies are thinking, but what about North Korea? CNN's Will Ripley takes us inside the North Korea propaganda machine.
Can you really have a transformation like that?
If you want to know what President Trump wants from Kim Jong-un on Tuesday, he'll tell you.
This is the whole key to what we're doing on denuclearization.
Or he'll tweet it. But North Korea's supreme leader doesn't stop for journalists or use social media. So, to get a sense of what Kim Jong-un is thinking, the best bet is to look at what his government is telling its people. Propaganda sets the tone for the entire country, and the message is changing.
북권함은 완전한 비핵화를 통해 핵 없는 조선 반도를 실현한다는 공동의 목표를 확인하였다.
I've been to North Korea almost 20 times, and I can tell you, people there have always treated me with respect. But for more than 60 years, since the brutal Korean War, America has been public enemy number one, a narrative constantly reinforced by the North Korean government.
What if I told you I'm an American? Do you want to shoot me too?
Yes.
5 consultants of the National Democratic Front may go to the Netherlands to attend peace talks with the government. The Manila RTC Branch 32 granted provisional liberty to Benito Tiamzon, Adalberto Silva, Rafael Bailosis, Randall Echanis, and Vicente Ladlad. The court says they can attend the informal talks on June 22 to 26 and the formal talks from June 27 to 30. This after President Duterte said the government is resuming the discussions with the communist group. The president abandoned the peace talks 8 months ago, citing rebel attacks. But on Thursday, the president said he is talking to CPP founder Jose Maria Sison, and the negotiations may start mid-July. On Friday, Sison insisted both sides should first agree on a stand-down agreement or a halt to offensives. Another setback for Mary Jane Veloso, the Filipina on death row in Indonesia. The Court of Appeals adjunked her bid to be allowed to testify against her recruiters. Our justice correspondent Anjo Alimario talked to Veloso's lawyer and her family about their next move.
3 years ago, the whole country prayed with the family of Mary Jane Veloso, who was supposed to be executed by firing squad for drug trafficking in Indonesia. A last-minute reprieve saved her life, but she's still on death row. She's yet to tell her story on her alleged recruiters who supposedly duped her to smuggle heroin at a Jakarta airport, but the Court of Appeals barred it from happening. The appellate court is firm on its decision not to allow Veloso's deposition in Indonesia, saying this would violate the right of the accused to question her testimony face-to-face. But her lawyer disagrees.
The concrete reality is that the accused in the WCF case, the alleged illegal recruiters, will be able to answer their own questions. And the concrete reality is that the judge will be able to observe and assess for herself the demeanor of the witness, Mary Jane Veloso. So these are all non-issues.
In its ruling, the court said the government should instead convince Indonesia to allow Veloso to testify in Philippine courts. Under the Treaty on Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters, the government can request from Indonesia to temporarily transfer Veloso to allow her to testify in the country and to return her immediately after the termination of her testimony. But Olalia points out this option has already been considered.
Unfortunately, the Indonesian government did not prefer that kind of arrangement, which is allowed.
Olalia adds that one of the alleged recruiters, Maria Cristina Serio, already cleared Veloso in her counter-affidavit she submitted to the Justice Department.
Sinasabi niya si Mary Jane Veloso ay walang kinalaman dun sa pagdadala ng droga.
Mary Jane's mother, Celia Veloso, says they're saddened by this development.
Bakit po ganon? Mati may pag-amin na po si Cristina. Kahit ito rin mo nakakalaya si Nerdin.
Celia recently visited her daughter in Indonesia. She's doing okay, but
Init na po siya. Dahil siyempre po, tatagal na po niya doon. Alam ko po magawa. Dahil nga po, hindi naman po nila ayaw naman po nilang tulungan. Kaya po, init lang siya talaga.
She tells Mary Jane to be strong.
Meron naman daw po yung Diyos na tutulong sa kanya. Kung ayaw siyang tulungan ng gobyerno, meron naman daw po yung Diyos na tutulong sa kanya.
Her lawyers are already planning to bring Veloso's fight to the Supreme Court. Celia says she'll visit Mary Jane again in October with the whole family, including her children. Hopeful that she'll bring good news this time around. Anjali Mario, CNN Philippines.
Now, the CNN Philippines exclusive, Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales shares the qualities she looks for in her successor. A month before she retires, Morales sits down with her senior anchor and correspondent Pinky Webb on The Source. Morales had something to say about President Duterte's statement that the next ombudsman should be someone with integrity and should not be a woman or a politician.
The president said that he won't choose a woman ombudsman, but he will consult with the people in the office of the ombudsman, but not Justice Morales. How do you feel about that?
Well, if he believes that a woman should not be appointed and that he would not consult me, that's his own opinion. If that is meant to indict me, because he said he wants to have integrity, if that is meant to indict me, it's okay, he can indict me. But I feel that I have integrity. I can look at anyone straight in the face. I have integrity. I have not done anything below the standard that I want. And the standard that I want is you must have industry, you must have independence, and you must have integrity. Those are the traits that I want the succeeding ombudsman must have.
Catch the full interview on The Source. That's on Monday, 9 a.m.